Hello, everybody. My name is Cesar, and I am 30 and flirty and thriving.
30 and flirty and thriving. Oh, and I'm Martha. Also 30, flirty, and thriving.
Sure. And welcome to the 30th, speaking of, episode of In a Wider Screen, where
two idiots who know nothing about movies talk about movies.
Before we get into anything today, if you have not already, check out our YouTube channel, subscribe to it, like, comment, subscribe. I said that twice. And audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a review. We're available, 5 stars, whatever
Whoop, whoop.
you want to do. Yeah. Do all that. So, Martha, is it legal for a man living in North Carolina to be buried in South Carolina?
Is it legal?
Yeah.
For a man married...
Living.
What
married.
Yeah. Is it legal for a man living in North Carolina
to be buried in South Carolina?
Buried in South Carolina.
Is that legal?
Well, but if he's living, then he's not dead, so it's illegal to bury someone. So
we've reached our 30th episode today, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it would be illegal to bury someone alive.
So the answer is no, it would not be legal because he is still... Yeah.
He's still living.
He's still living.
Yeah.
So you're back on your streak.
I'm back on my streak.
I think you missed like the last 2 or 3.
All it took was a week of sleep deprivation.
There we go.
It's
awesome. We love that.
Top.
We love that, Queen.
We love it.
All right. So as you can see, this week we are on our 30th episode. So we thought, okay, 30. What movie is 30?
Obviously.
We gotta do 13 going on 30. So very fun movie. But before we get into that, yesterday officially concluded, like, spooky season for real. October has passed us.
Yes,
we're now in November. So how was your Halloween, your October in general?
Oh, it was great. I was stressed out getting ready for it this last week, but ultimately it was a lot of fun. It was very cool.
Yeah.
I dressed as Miss Argentina, the receptionist lady from Beetlejuice.
Oh, nice.
I painted myself green, and I was very much concerned.
You painted it? You actually did all?
Yeah, I did the whole thing. I do. Yeah, maybe we can put it up. But for only a glimpse, because it looks awful. For a split second.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was green, and I was really scared that I was gonna stay green for a while. But luckily, it washed off.
You can kind of see the green kind of outline on your skin a little bit.
You might. Just a little bit, but no. Yeah, I mean, overall, it was fun Halloween. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we had a good Halloween, too. We just spent time with my girlfriend's family. We dressed as the Matrix, Trinity.
Nice. So
that was pretty fun to do. Got my outfit last minute from thrift store. Picking and mixing in pieces and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it was fun. We had certainly a fun October here on the show, talking about different spooky movies and stuff. Yeah, I haven't checked those out.
The classics. Definitely watch those, yes.
Yes. So did you have any time to watch anything this week because of sleep deprivation and Halloween stress?
I mean, I did watch Beetlejuice, in the background. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if that counts.
I mean, that's where it deserves to.
Yeah, but, I mean, hey. Chill out.
Peace and love.
No. Anyway. So I did watch Beetlejuice, but it was more I was busy doing other things, and I was like, well, it seems only right to watch Beetlejuice this week, so I did.
Sure.
So yeah, that was my movie. That was
the only one. I only watched one movie this week actually too.
Yeah.
Because I was very busy, but it was a Halloween movie that I'd seen it before. I was probably 14 or something. Watched it again. Frankenweenie.
I love that movie.
It is such a good, cute, good.
I love it.
Movie, especially if you're a dog lover or anything like that. It's so sweet.
It's so sweet.
But it's also kind of creepy at parts too, the whole Tim Burton kind of vibe going for it.
I love it though.
But I think it's fun.
It's so
It's
great.
a really fun Halloween movie. So definitely a good one. But that's all I watched.
All right. Well, it's a good one to watch.
13 going on 30.
13 going on 30.
Here we are. We're very excited to talk about this one. Getting into it. So this is directed by a man named Gary Winnick. This, out of all the movies he's done, this is probably the most popular one he's did. However, he later, after this, did Charlotte's Web. That one with
Yeah,
the
no,
Gwen
no,
Stefani.
I know which one you're talking about.
Oh,
I'm trying to forget.
You had a look of confusion on your face for a second.
Because I never liked those. It made me upset watching this.
He directed this movie called Bride Wars. I don't remember who's in that.
Oh my god, I love. I know what movie that is. So the Anne Hathaway, Kate.
Hudson?
Yes.
Okay.
And they were best friends, and they were both like had like a lot of plans to do things together, and then they end up like getting proposed to at the same time, and then like they start like fighting with each other because they want their weddings to be better, and they like fight for the venue, and they start sabotaging each other. It's hilarious, and it's so bad.
Sounds like
it's not very good, but I love it.
I'll check it out. And he also did this movie called Letters to Juliet.
Oh, I know that one.
Oh, you know that one too?
Yeah. Well, actually, I said all as if I remember the plot. I really don't. Remember. I just know that what's her face is in it.
He unfortunately though did pass away in 2011 at the age of 49. But
so sad.
But at least he had a few movies there that you did.
I did enjoy.
They did bring an emotional reaction out of
yeah,
you,
I did. Yeah, mostly rom-coms.
Yeah. That's basically where he was at. And Charlotte's Web, I would say, is the pinnacle
of a rom-com. Yeah, absolutely.
This is starring the great Jennifer Garner in this, Mark Ruffalo, King,
my man,
Judy Greer, and Andy Serkis. Released April 23rd, 2004. $37 million budget, which I don't get why it cost that much to make this movie, but made 96 million worldwide, so it did pretty okay. But it's definitely gained, the fandom since its release. Did you grow up with this one?
Oh, absolutely. This is a staple in my household. My whole family, like everyone, my brothers, my parents, me, we all love this movie. This is like probably a top 10 movie on all of our lists.
Yeah, I remember it made your list, didn't
This is my number 9, I think. Yeah, number 9 on my top 10.
Okay.
I grew up watching this movie all the time. I loved it so much, and I still love it to this day. Yeah. I watch it over and over again. If it's on TV, all of us will gather around the TV. Like, let's watch.
And you'll just watch the rest of it.
And we've seen it 1,000 times, and every time we're still like, oh no, or like, yay! Like, we have our full reaction to it every single time. This is like a classic to our family. Okay. We love it.
So this was only my second time watching it. Marie showed it to me last year during COVID. I think I had seen maybe parts of it on TV and stuff, but I never actually sat down to watch it, and I really enjoyed it. It's a very fun movie to watch. Yeah. Especially this kind of genre for me doesn't really click as much, but I don't know. I think the humor in this is good, and I think Jennifer Garner, just her performance is just her. Like, honestly, it's probably one of my favorite performances in like a comedy or like period. Like, she's
so nice,
so good in it. Like, it's just yeah. But all right. Well, we didn't read I forgot we were reading synopses.
Oh yes.
So we're gonna try this out. So this is the one I found. It says, after total humiliation at her 13th birthday party, Jenna Rink wants to just hide until she's 30. With a little magic, her wish is granted. But it turns out that being 30 isn't always as awesome as she thought it would be. What do you think of that?
I think that's pretty darn accurate.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Like it. Yeah.
It has some creativity in there, It's not always...
It's not with a bit of magic.
Got a little bit of magic with a little magic.
A little magic.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so we start off the movie. So obviously she starts off being 13 years old. She's walking through school, and then what's that group of those little girls?
The 6 chicks. Keep in mind, this whole movie, like the whole first part of the movie is set in the 80s.
Yeah.
Absolute vibes.
I love even it. The soundtrack from the beginning, really hit
the soundtrack for the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
Especially, but yeah.
But it's such 80s vibes. You see all of the extras in the background. They're all wearing their 80s clothes. The scene opens up with her with an awkward photo, school photo.
The yearbook photo, right.
Yeah, which I once had. I've only had one bad yearbook photo taken. Modest. Yeah, but it was because I was sick. And then I had a bunch of tissues in my hands when they called me up, so I stuffed them in my belt, and I was like,
yeah, like a booger coming out.
Yeah, it was not cute. So that was my only bad yearbook photo, but everything else, that's
wonderful. I think all of mine were pretty bad. I don't remember. I don't look at them. But Yeah, so the 6 chicks, she wants to be the 7th chick, but then they wouldn't be called the 6 chicks.
I know.
Fucking Brie Larson is one of these 6 chicks.
There's like so many. Okay, so Brie Larson, Ashley Benson,
the Pretty Little Liars chick. And then I was like,
there was
what?
And there was that girl in the back too who is in another movie, but I can't place her, and I know she's in another.
Mary was telling me the same thing. She's like, I feel like I recognize that girl, but like
she like plays Cinderella Story, the one with Hilary Duff.
Yeah,
she was one of the sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's where she's from. Okay, yeah, I was like, I know I've seen her. She looks so familiar, but that's.
So basically, so they set this time to establish the friendship between her and Maddie. And I like how they're showing early on as kids, especially the little things that they do, because it makes more sense when she's 30 and she feels like she still has a connection with him.
Yeah. Which fun little tidbit here. So the Razzles scene that they like share, like Razzles are like their candy.
They're like their candy, yeah.
Because of this movie, my house always has Razzles. They're usually somewhere like hidden in the drawers. But every time we see.
That's a real candy?
Yeah, it's a real candy.
I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing is that like they're from the 80s, so it's like they've gone out of style. No one eats Razzles anymore. We are our family are single-handedly keeping the Razzles company alive because
we're Razzles for Halloween.
We don't.
You really
those are ours.
Then are you keeping it alive?
Those are ours. No.
But you're not keeping it alive. Then you're just lying to yourself.
Yeah, we're just lying. But no, every time we see them at the store, we're like, oh my God, Razzles, and we grab them.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's a little fun tidbit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can I try some?
No, they're mine.
Anyway, so then she's like, okay, she's gonna have the birthday party. Well, first of all, she's like, I don't want to be 13 anymore. Mm-hmm. Like she's looking at this magazine, in Poise magazine.
Magazine, yes, exactly.
Like, I want to be like, because there's an article about being 30 and flirty and
thriving. Which, to be fair, I've heard great things about the 30s.
I don't want to be 30. I'm like just starting my 20s. Like I don't already want to be 30.
No, I want to be 30 already. I don't. Well, because I already act like an old lady. And so at least, so like right now I get looked at weird for being like young, but also acting like an old lady. So I figured like once I'm in my 30s, it'd be more appropriate to start acting.
And 5 at the same time.
But yeah, see, I also have that youthful heart, you know. So
yeah, you can call it.
But anyway,
that's fine.
But yeah, so
she basically has. So she has the birthday party for herself. She invites those 6 chicks.
6 chicks,
and they're just the worst group of girls I've ever seen.
Biatches,
like little bitches. And you know that like, you would assume at this point, like when she becomes 30, okay, like at least one of these girls is gonna be in the picture somehow. You know, she's gonna be the worst. But then she treats little like Maddie like an asshole too. She's like, what did you do? He brought you a dream house.
He built that dream house
from the bottom up. Everything about it, all the little details in there was for her. She's like, that's so sweet. Oh, they're here.
Toss it, throw it out. I mean,
throw that thing like that did not mean shit. And then
so rude.
And then so then they show up. Later on, this guy, is that John Michael Murray? Is the kid the Chris guy?
Is it?
I don't know. Maybe it wasn't him. It looked like him.
No, I don't think that was him. No, that definitely was not.
I was like, if he was in this, it'd be bigger roles. I don't think that was him.
No, it was definitely not.
But it looked kind of like him. But anyway, so he shows up with those 6 chicks, and then that's the guy that she likes. So then they trick her by saying, okay, we're gonna play 7 Minutes in Heaven, go in the closet, and then Chris is gonna come in there.
Yeah. Well, it's all a sham. Because they're rude, and they were just using her
for their school project or whatever. They leave with all the food and everything. So Maddie comes, everyone's gone. She goes in there, and then she's like, Maddie, like, where's Chris?
Yeah, she's
like, no, Chris is gone. Everyone's left. Be like, what did you do?
Yeah, she starts blaming him.
I was like, I didn't do anything.
Don't you dare be rude to this sweet boy. Maddie has my heart. He's so sweet.
Yeah. Which, like, seeing how the way she treats him, like, it makes sense. Like, when she's 30 and she goes to see him, he's kind of just like, eh.
Yeah, like he's like over her.
Yeah. This is like, we treated him like that. Like,
yeah, he deserves better.
Yeah. So then she's like sitting there crying, be like, I want to be 30, 30,
flirty and thriving. Which I after seeing this movie so many times as a kid, when I was going through a crisis of my own in my youth, I also tried that with like.
Oh.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Well, I mean, you didn't have the magic. Or
I didn't have the magic. That might have been
a little
it.
magic. You didn't have that.
Yeah,
magic.
so you could try it at home, but it's not gonna work. So, unfortunately,
don't waste your time.
Yeah, don't waste your time.
So then Jennifer Garner is now 30-year-old Jenna.
She's woken up and she's like, "What the hell?"
What's going on? New apartment.
Yep. Whole life.
Sees a random
naked man coming out
for
of
a
the
while she didn't see him,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny. But then she sees him. There's a man there, and then she's just. I mean, it's basically another kind of fish out of water situation. Just
Yes.
fast forward, 15 or so odd years later. Doesn't know what a cell phone is or anything. She's
Yes.
like, what's that ringing noise?
I think it's so nice to like I think it adds that comedy element to it. Just like that, such an innocent
Yeah.
person just thrown into like into New York City of all places.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking like obviously like she's only still like a 13-year-old mind state, and especially being thrown into like this adult lifestyle in New York City of all places, like such a fast moving place. It's like
And she's just not
like,
understanding
what the fuck?
anything that's going on in it.
and then everyone around her kind of like knows all these things that she doesn't know, or like as she learns throughout later, like kind of the way she treats people is different than who she was as 13. And
she's gone through dramatic changes in her adulthood. So while she is living the life that she had dreamed,
always wanted,
she has become a person that she is not a fan of.
No, she's basically, when we don't see her, she's basically a bitch to everybody.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Yeah.
And she's kind of just shocked to like hear all this later. But at first she doesn't really know like her reputation. Yeah, I mean, obviously.
All she knows is that she is not 13 anymore.
No.
And she needs to figure out what's happening.
I mean, it's pretty crazy to like wake up as 30 and you're in this like amazing, luxurious situation working as an editor for your favorite fucking magazine.
I know.
Like
what?
I would love. This is crazy. So she figures out that she works for this Poise magazine that she loves. Andy Serkis is the editor-in-chief. Love Andy Serkis. And this, I mean, I had always seen him first in like other wildly different roles. So seeing him do this was really fun. Like I would love to see him do more comedy.
Yeah, great character. I loved him.
Yeah, she's just crazy. Showing up to her office, little detail that was like, ugh. There's that picture in her office with her like posing with Rudy Giuliani.
I didn't even notice that.
Because at the time I think he was still the mayor of New York.
Yeah, at the time he was still like sane.
Yeah.
So.
But now looking at it, it's kind of like, oh. Okay.
Well.
All right. And then I just remember watching it and thinking like, they were always asking her questions about certain details that obviously she wouldn't know about, and she was doing just such an awful job of trying to carry it through. But then she's like 13 years, like in her head she's 13. Maybe like us as older, we'd probably just BS our way through something like that. But like,
I would have started crying if they were asking me all these questions. Like, I don't know what you're saying to me.
I know.
So she did.
Okay. So then she's like, oh, my best friend Maddie, like, let me go.
She needs to, she's like, this is like her one safe space is finding Maddie. Yeah. So she sends out her assistant. She finds him. She shows up and is like, hey, surprise, like, help me.
Yeah. And he's like, oh.
And he's very like confused. He's like, I have not seen you in years. I am not interested in getting to know you again, because as we've seen, she's not become a great person, and it's clear that transformation began immediately after.
Literally right after that birthday. And especially even moments in that birthday party that we didn't see, that they talk about later. Like, we didn't realize that she threw the dream house at him and broke it, shattered it. Like, so even like that day, there were things that she reacted with that just right there just kind of just ruined that friendship forever. Like, you would imagine, okay, you were 13, now you're 30, like, showing up and being like,
hey, what's up? Like, I don't remember anything that happened.
I didn't remember any of that.
Yeah.
Like,
but yeah, so she gets a little bit of a rundown of, like, where like, how her life panned out after that day. And she became, like, the leader of the 6 chicks. Like, everything that she had wanted, it happened for her.
Yeah.
But also, along the way, she just became a terrible person.
And she lost her best friend.
And
now that fucking blonde girl is her friend.
And now, Lucy.
I didn't remember her name for a while.
Lucy.
Judy's the actress that plays her.
I think that's why I got confused.
Yeah. Also, a cute little detail I remembered, even though it had been so long since they weren't friends, they still remembered, or he remembered at least still the greeting that they, or the farewell, like kind of
the arrivederci.
Yeah. I was like, it's cute that you remember that still.
That
but
is so sweet.
Yeah, he did that. Then what's the next thing? They're gonna have that party for Poise.
So next is so they go to the big party that Poise is throwing, and it's clear that at this point we've learned that the magazine is not doing so hot
compared to their rival Sparkle. Who basically has shown that they've basically stolen and kind of copied all of Poise's ideas, but they're doing it at a much more successful level, and Poise is kind of going down the drain as a result. So they have that kind of party to like kind of, well, I don't know if it was fundraiser or
like
something.
Up the ante and get everyone like more excited about it. But even their parties stink.
Yeah.
So in comes Jenna. She's like,
as dressed as a 13-year-old would, with even all that money and clothes.
We
That's
forgot
exactly what she wears.
That montage where she like gets dressed. Okay, also, so a couple things. This is a rom-com, so there is a lot of tropes. Montages, all the rage in this movie. Oh yeah. But I love every single one.
But they don't feel as like cheesy as like other
no, they absolutely feel cheesy, but that's what makes them so precious.
Okay, I guess I've watched other rom-coms where it feels somehow cheesier than this.
Where it's like cringy to watch.
It's just cringy. This wasn't. You know
this wasn't. No. I all the montages in this movie are iconic,
and I think it's because she plays like so perfectly into it.
She does it so perfect. Yeah. So I dreamed of having that closet. Growing up, I was like, I need it.
But the thing is, you would think with that closet, and like you're saying with that montage, you're seeing her with all these new clothes and everything, where's the exact thing she would wear if she was 13?
Exactly. But it's very 80s with like the makeup and everything. She did the blue eyeshadow, the lot of blush, everything about it. Perfect. Yeah. I love it. So it's very cute to see like her get that little Barbie moment where she gets to dress up.
So, but like you're saying, she's at the party. It's dead. Nothing is working right now. And then she goes back to the one song that we see her watch as a 13-year-old. Thriller, iconic. She knows the dance, everything. Like that's all she knows, and like basically it's that unique energy she has from like being a 13-year-old. Yeah, and like just not caring and just going out there and dancing. It just kind of changes the whole vibe of it. And then Matt shows up, and she convinces him to dance with her, and then
everyone joins in because it's Thriller, and everyone does the Thriller dance.
Do you know the dance? I don't know.
Yeah, I actually learned it from this movie.
Duh.
Yeah, I watched it so many times that I hadn't even seen the music video.
Really?
I had only ever, well, I mean, I've seen it now, but like I'd only ever seen the movie.
Yeah.
And so that's how I knew the dance.
It's a great freaking music video.
I mean, it's a great music video. Yeah. It's iconic. Michael Jackson.
Yeah. So, then the next part, this really doesn't really have anything to do with the plot. I just love this joke. So she's at the bar with Lucy. Oh, you know where I'm going with this. Yeah. Okay. So then she's kind of just learning about kind of like, as a 30-year-old, kind of I would say the kind of dating, romantic lifestyle.
Because she also learns that she has a boyfriend, which is that naked man who's in her apartment. And beyond that, she's obviously like developing feelings for Matt.
At the same time.
So.
But before that, so she's like, oh, that guy back there is looking at you, like, and he's like, oh, he's so cute, like, she go talk to him. And you very clearly think he's gonna go to that, which I thought the older man wasn't very.
Oh no, he was not attractive at all.
Goes right past him and finds this freaking 13-year-old. Be like, hey.
So you're really cute.
And she's like, oh, you want to go out sometime? She's like, yeah. Do you drive?
Yeah, and she's like, okay, I met the man.
Okay,
and,
man, you trying to go to jail? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, that was a really funny scene to add in there because again, it adds more to the character of just like her being just so oblivious and just not really understanding the world around her. Yeah, and it's so great. It's hilarious to see that.
But then it leads into that not confrontation, but that scene with Matt, and then that we find out he has a fiance. Named Wendy. And then but at the same time she realizes that guy, the naked man, like you were saying, is her boyfriend, a hockey player that people recognize in the city. And then he's just like, oh, like, you're gonna go home.
Yeah. And then there's that scene. Yeah. Which I always hated watching because I was always watching this movie with my family. Oh, yeah. And I was a child and I was like,
Yeah, no, but that's, I mean, I don't really think there's anything to
No, but as a kid,
like,
Yeah.
young kid, yeah, I get you. But it's just funny because it's like, okay, she's reacting just how like a 13-year-old would to absolutely knowing nothing about
exactly
like intimacy or anything like that. She's just
it's
like,
so funny.
like, get away. Yeah.
She's laughing and she's uncomfortable and she's just not having it. So that was funny to see. But yeah, so we go and move on. So we've kind of established more and more about, you know, where she's at with her life. Like, she is starting to understand more her role.
Yeah.
And how she starts to play it.
Because, I mean, it is a lot. It's freaking overwhelming to, I guess, figure out all of that. But I think now she kind of seems to figure it out. Like, she has that magazines for dummies, whatever book, basically.
Yes.
Basically, she has this job that she doesn't know how to do. She has to learn how to do it.
She's figuring out how to do it, and she's starting to, you know, find her place. And at work, as we mentioned before, the magazine is going under. So it is up to Jenna and Lucy, the team, the dynamic duo that they are.
What they apparently were.
Yeah. So they are going to have to redesign this magazine. Yeah. So Jenna overhears a conversation with Lucy, and then once a mean girl, always a mean girl. So Lucy's like, let's just let her fall on her ass, and we're gonna like come up with the best.
Because at this point, she's really learning more. She's like hearing in their conversation, like, oh, like she stole this girl's ideas and then fired her like the next day, like Jenna. So like she's just hearing more and more about these things that like she's unfamiliar with. Another thing was she's in her office. This random guy shows up. Yeah. And starts like kissing her and stuff, and he's like calling her. Is he the one that called her Pookie?
Yeah, she's like, Pookie.
Like finding out that she was like in an affair, like with a married man. Like she's like, this is like personality wise, she just realizes how distant.
Yeah, like
more and more.
Her assistant is like reading through her messages, and it's like, I hope you choke on your own bile, you pretentious bitch, and like,
she's like, oh, on and on.
She's like, I should read these by myself.
Yeah, like she's rude to all these people and like backstabbing people, like all these things that she was never felt like she was capable of doing, at least being 13. Like it's just crazy how much she's changed, and like and I think she definitely like faces it head on when she's talking to Matt, because she keeps asking like, oh, what happened to us, like why weren't we friends, and he kind of explained everything. She was like, I can't believe like I became that person, like I don't know why are you being so nice to me, and like I don't deserve these nice things, like look what which
absolutely, because if you hurt Maddie, how dare you? I love that, man. Okay,
no, Maddie, though, is not a perfect person.
We'll get to that.
Okay, but I'm just saying, let's not pretend like he's some saint.
Okay, but this movie really had me convinced that I was in love with Mark Ruffalo.
I know, okay. Separate Mark Ruffalo from the character for a second.
Well, I was in love with both of them.
Okay, but I'm saying, as we get into his character, but
we'll get into that later. But she does end up going home because...
Well, first of all, she, like, right after that conversation, she starts running. I don't get why, like, do the directors in these movies just tell him to just start running? Like, I feel like this happens much more often than it should. Yeah. Why? Just walk away. Like, who told her to just start running?
Because it's dramatic.
I guess, but it's just like, ugh.
And when you're...
But she's like this. She's like, ugh.
Okay, when you are a 13-year-old... You're like a mind of a 13-year-old. Everything's dramatic, and your first instinct is to run.
But the thing is, it's not necessarily a problem I have with this movie. It's other movies where it's grown-ass adults doing that. I mean, she's an adult too, but in their mind, they're not 13. They're fucking.
Movies
40.
need sauce. Running is the sauce.
I guess.
Whatever. Give it the spice.
Okay.
It needs.
I'll give you a piece of spice though, which is a detail I never noticed. Well, this is my only second time watching it, so okay. But I thought this detail meaningless to the movie, but I thought it was a really cool detail. So I don't know if you remember when she woke up being 30 and she hears the man in her apartment. She grabs an umbrella as a defense weapon. Oh, the same when her dad did the exact same thing when they like heard her in their house, and I thought that was just cool. Yeah, especially because they had shown at that point also too that she was pretty distant from her parents. Yeah, which was crazy to her. She's like, I don't talk to my mom anymore. She loved her parents. Yeah. It was very clear. So it's sad to see that. But that whole another montage was that scene, like the train ride home, Vienna, by Billy Joel playing in the background. So this has now become like my song in my dad's eyes. Like he always like thinks about me when the song plays, because he's like, hey, slow down, you crazy child. Yeah. You're so ambitious for a juvenile. Baby, you're so smart.
their cow stuff there.
Oh,
but anyway,
thank you.
but anyway,
much, but
like this, that whole scene is iconic, and it's like it makes me so sad to see, because it's like she's really just seeing her life how it's turned out, and it's everything that she's ever wanted, but she has become a terrible person that
at
she
the same
doesn't
time, like turning herself on her, she's become a completely different person from who she was and like who she wants to be.
Yeah, and she's just going through it, and it's and put anything on a train, it's gonna be sad and dramatic.
Yeah,
and it's just like,
which I don't think this movie is saying like the only way to get everything you want is you have to become a different person or anything. It's just, I feel like that's just what ended up happening to her based on like the people
made choices,
the choices she made, and which goes into the conversation with her mom, which I thought was really sweet. Like, just she was asking her like, do you regret anything you ever done? Like, if there's like one thing in your life you would ever go back and change, like what is? She's like, nothing. Like, if I hadn't made those mistakes, I wouldn't have known how to like make things right.
Yeah,
and I feel like that was definitely an important for her. So I thought that was a good moment.
Yeah, so it was nice to see her go home and reconnect with her parents. It was a much needed thing for her to like really start growing. Yeah, and become she now in her head, she's like, okay, well, it's too late. I've already made my wish to be 30. I'm 30 now, and I can't go back and change the things I've done. So this is now my chance to become a better person from here on out. Yeah. And so I think that's an important lesson that she's learned. It's like, you can't change the past, but you can change the future. Yeah. Yeah. So, she can learn,
she can try to make things right now. Now here for me, this is the whole movie's cheesy, right? I think for me at this point it was a little too much for me. The cheesiness, the whole montage of the yearbook photo shoot, getting the Razzles candy. After that they like look through the photos and they're like, let's go get some Razzles, and then they're walking and giving each other the looks. And then they go on and then they go on the swing, and then they swing off and they fall and they're like giggly and then like all cute and sweet. I'm like, okay, fine.
So cute.
I'm like, fine, just it's fine.
Look, okay.
I get why it needs to be there. It just, for me, watch that part wasn't just, I didn't care much.
So I keep saying that I don't like rom-coms.
Yeah.
But I think I might like rom-coms.
You think?
Okay, well, to be fair,
every time this happens, you're always like,
it's not,
I love this cute, sweet, cheesy moment that I love in rom-coms, even though I hate rom-coms because they're so cute and sweet and cheesy.
My thing is it's not my favorite genre.
Okay, then say that. Don't say I hate rom-coms.
But, and I've always said that I hated rom-coms because it was like, that was internal issues I had growing up. Let's be honest here. So I've moved past that.
Just growing up.
I am. Okay. Anyway.
Sorry.
So seeing scenes like that, I get it. They're so cheesy. Yeah. But I think with this movie in particular, I have such a close connection to these characters because I love them so much. They're so sweet, and in this scene in particular, all of it is going back to like the innocence of it all. Yeah. And it's that innocence that makes that scene so much sweeter between the two of them. Yeah. Because it's like she already is like has that 13 mindset.
But it's kind of like she's bringing him back to the same mindset. And she's bringing him
back. I think it's so sweet, and just to have that moment of them like eating Razzles, going on the swings, and then them
even
having that moment.
Like, I mean, he seems like pretty like kind of whatever about his life, but like I feel like that kind of excitement in his life isn't really there.
He doesn't have
which
that
he literally
anymore.
says at the end, like, being with you these last few weeks has like made me feel things I didn't know I could feel anymore. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, like it's everyone has this need to just grow up so fast, but it's always nice to just still have that like childhood innocence in you. It makes life more fun. Yeah. To live.
And I definitely think she made that.
And she showed that to him.
She showed that to him.
Yeah. So and then that's why I think their relationship is just so sweet, and I love the scene. I love the scene that they have together. So I just wanted to go on a little tangent there.
Basically, though, I will say because Maddie kissed her, he still got a fiance.
That is fair. Okay, fair.
Unfaithful ass. So let's not act like he's a freaking saint. That's all I'm saying.
He's not a saint. He got caught up in the moment of.
No, that's an excuse. That's bullshit.
Yeah, no, I do not condone cheating.
But say it. It's fine.
But I love him. I do not condone cheating, but no, there's no but. It was unexcusable. He shouldn't have done it. But
it's a movie. It's
no,
fine.
there's sorry. But it's a movie. It's a movie.
It's fine.
But he did was like okay. He like got up and he was like like he sighed and he was like shit.
I have a fiance. Fuck.
Yeah.
Should think about that.
So he's now going through it. So we'll leave him there.
I love the little detail though after. Well, not a little detail, but I love how after that happened, like she goes and like tells all those 13-year-olds like right after like
the sleepover.
like, the
That's
sleepover,
so
just
cute.
like you would like in your middle school, you know.
Exactly, and then they have that love's a battlefield.
Heartbreak to heartbreak.
We stand.
I was literally. I don't know why after this movie ended, I was singing that for like the next hour.
Okay, me too.
Just that one part.
Because it's so good. It's Pavlin, it's hard.
I mean, first they play it like 3 times in the movie, but it's a good. I mean, it's a good song.
But it's a good song. But yeah, so that sleepover was really cute.
So basically, like you're saying though, so back to kind of I guess the conflict of the movie
With the magazine.
with the whole magazine stuff.
Yeah.
They're both developing their own pitches. Her and Lucy.
Lucy's
pitch.
She decided, you know what's a good idea? Let me put every transition that PowerPoint has to offer.
Yes. Let
me make it loud and horrendous.
Let's just make noise.
Let's just make noise. Let's make pictures make noise.
And she thought that was gonna work. And it was terrible. I don't remember exactly some of the phrases she used, but it was
fashion. It was like suicide.
It was like, okay, girl, poor taste. That's fine.
It just was not good.
Yeah.
And everyone agreed it was not good.
It was pretty good. Then she gives her peach. Her peach?
Yep, she gives her peach. She gives peaches, and she says, "Here, peaches, yummy."
Her pitch, bitch. She gave her pitch.
She gives her pitch,
and it was very sweet. Of course, they liked the pitch, right?
Yeah.
But
well, I just want to make one little note. I feel like this movie has like feminist tendencies in it.
Explain yourself.
So, like, the whole message of her pitch is like body positivity and how it's like, why are we still putting these models who are like show these unobtainable looks when we can put people who are real people in these magazines, people that we know and we can relate to? And so there's like that part, and then there was like that one. This might have I'm on the fence of whether this was like a feminist tendency or a knock at feminism, or like not feminism but like gender.
I mean, interpret it however you want to.
With the part where we first meet Wendy, and she's like, he was like, she's an anchor woman. She was an anchor person.
Oh yeah.
And again, I want to feel that this was a nice like push in like gender equality.
Which for a movie that came out in 2004 is pretty interesting.
It's interesting to.
I mean, they don't really do anything overt with it, but like it's but kind of like
There was another scene, I don't remember what it was, but there were a couple points in this movie that I felt like it was like, hey, go women.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I just wanted to add that in there. But that is
definitely
the whole point.
a pro woman movie.
I think so.
I would say.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's her whole pitch is it's like bringing real people into the magazine, and everyone loves it because it's sweet.
I mean, it's and also like it feels believable. Like it's definitely like it is. They were scared because it's like she's gonna do something completely different from what we're used to doing. But like her pitch like makes sense, and it makes sense to her character. Like she justifies like why everyone would like it and think they're on board with it.
Yeah.
Which pisses off Lucy.
Not happy.
And
not
here's
happy
where
at
this
all.
bitch comes in. So she goes in her office, starts snooping around.
Snooping.
Finds an envelope. Don't quite know what the envelope is yet, but she finds the envelope. Calls Sparkle. And then Matt comes in, and she's like, you know what? So
creative differences.
Jenna's decided to go in a different direction, which Matt doesn't really like believe. He's kind of like whatever because he knows who she is. But
he does not trust her.
But at the same time, it's just like she's just wrecking shit, right? And then we find out another detail that Jenna obviously didn't know about because before she, showed up. She had a deal underneath, dark shit.
Yeah, so her deal with Sparkle magazine, which was the competitor, who kept somehow coming up with the same exact concepts as them, but right before they did, and they were trying to figure out why
that happened.
It was Jenna. She was the one that was giving them the tips on like what they were going to do for that issue, and if they reached so many, sales, if
they reached the 1 million copies sold or whatever, which they did reach,
she would become
going to be their new
editor-in-chief. So she was like, it's a good deal. But now that she's, 13-year-old Jenna again, she's like, why would I do that?
Right.
But Lucy takes advantage of it and ends up stealing the job at Sparkle.
She stole the pitch that she gave.
And she stole the pitch. She stole Matt's photos.
Yes, because he got her to sign. She got him to sign that release. Yeah. She took the ideas to Sparkle, and now she's the editor-in-chief there, and she's the fucking worst.
Exactly. So, like, here's the difference between these two characters. Jenna became a bad person, but she learned that it was bad and she became a better person. Lucy is just a bitch.
Which, okay, like, on one hand, obviously it's one thing for Lucy to be frustrated about all those things Jenna was doing, but her being a bitch about it and like stealing it and doing that,
so cold-hearted,
is just cold-hearted on top of that. Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
Because like already she was scheming against her
from the beginning. She would have schemed against her some other way around, right? So even if she wasn't like that. So
she was never gonna do good. Which but yeah.
So then Jenna's like, what the fuck did you do? All this kind of stuff. She's like, what did you tell Matt? Blah, blah, blah. So she's like, okay, I need to get to Matt. Well, first, because she didn't know until beforehand. She had gone to his apartment and Wendy answered the door and she was like saying like, we're going to get married tomorrow. She's like,
tomorrow?
Like, so at this point, it is the wedding day. So it's a backyard wedding. So she goes to his house, runs into him, and then they have this really heartfelt conversation.
Oh, it makes me so sad. Like, when I say that this movie provokes emotion, it provokes emotion. My heart breaks every time I see that scene because it's just so emotional. And she's like, I know that you felt what I felt this past week. Yeah. And then she's like, and I'm sorry for the person that I've become, but that's not me anymore. And she's trying to explain that to him. And she's crying because he's like, look, I love you, but he's a faithful man in the end.
Okay, he seems pretty miserable to be faithful.
He seems miserable, but he's like, but I can't do that to Wendy.
Those are the choices. I made that choice to be with her. Like, I can't just keep living in the past anymore.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. He's like,
I can't turn back. Like, we've at this point in our lives, we've gone down different paths, all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And Jenna, being the little sweetheart she is, she's like, okay, that's fine. Like, as long as you're happy. And he's like feeling bad because she's crying, and she's like, no, I'm not crying because I'm sad. I want you to be happy, even though she's miserable.
Yeah.
But like till the end, she's just like,
but she's being real. I mean, she
ultimately, she does want him to be happy. Yeah, so she's like, if this is what's making you happy, then that's what's making you happy. And
she's not like, if you want to be with that bitch, that's fine.
Yeah, no, she's like, trying not to make him feel guilty about it, which is just like, what a sweet.
What she said, because he's fucking unfaithful fucker.
Okay, well, chill out. Anyway, but he, as a final goodbye, he gives her the dollhouse that he made, which he had saved all those years.
So did he just like put it back together, I guess?
No, it was broken.
Oh, still? Well, the way he seemed to, like, I thought she like shattered it.
Oh, well, I mean, I think it was more harm towards him.
Oh, I thought she kind of just threw it at him and it like kind of...
It just exploded?
Yeah, exactly.
Just... Oh, okay.
Anyway. Gave it to her.
And so she is, going through it, and she's like just wishing that she could take it all back, that she could go back to being 13 and make things right. Well, that magic dust with the wind picks up. And she gets back to her 13-year-old self. Okay,
this whole fucking ending, cheesiest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life.
So cheesy. So fucking good. So cute.
It was very cute. So, so she goes back to being 13. She's like, okay, fuck, like, I'm back. Good. Then she hears Maddie.
And she's like, I'm making things right.
She's like, mwah, like, mwah.
Yeah, so...
Then they're leaving. She sees Lucy, tells her off in the best... Freaking like, biatch.
Flips the cup. Shit. I love it. And she tears up the project and everything. She's like...
Yeah.
She is like cutting ties with Lucy. So she is ensuring that she does not go down the path that she had gone down before.
And then I love the transition when they go out that door and go out to them being married at 30.
So
good.
Sweet.
And then they end up getting, the dream house.
They get the dream house. The
with
dream house.
Eating razzles on the frick. I'm like, okay, stop the cheesy shit.
So
it's
sweet.
Sweet. It's
So
very
sweet.
sweet.
So
it's a good ending. It's
but yeah, so a
ending.
nice little happy ending.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of the movie.
The end of the movie.
Oh, I love this movie.
It is a cute movie.
It makes me happy watching it.
It is definitely a feel good one.
It's such a feel good movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, I will say, as much as I love Jennifer Garner in this, I think even some of the other people, I think honestly my other favorite performance was honestly Andy Serkis as the editor. He's freaking funny.
He's hilarious,
yes,
yeah.
but Jennifer Garner for sure is just like kills it. Like
kills it.
Maintaining kind of like the innocence of being a 13-year-old the whole time, but also like as she's learning more about herself, kind of more asserting herself as that 30-year-old that she is physically, at least.
Yeah.
Thought she played that perfectly.
She did a great job with that, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cute movie. I mean, obviously, like, all that whole magazine shit doesn't really matter. No, but I think it just kind of just shows in this new life she's experiencing more about herself and the choices that
she's made.
She's made, and then she goes back to being 13. What choices she'll instead make that will help her stay true to herself.
Her path is changing. Yeah. But yeah, I think overall it is absolutely a necessary part of the movie.
Yeah.
I personally think so. I'd see nothing wrong with this movie. I think it's perfect.
All right, so I think I know then what you're gonna give to your score. I had no doubt about this, but yeah. Do you have any final thoughts?
I love it. Oh, I forgot to come up with a pun. Hold on, let me think about it.
Think of something. That's fine.
Yeah, 30. More like.
You should have said the pookie, more like pukey.
Pukey.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, good movie.
Sorry.
All time. No, it's a classic. It's a favorite for me.
Yeah.
So I'm giving this movie. I mean, it still has its cheesy moments, which
no movie's perfect.
No movie's perfect. But those cheesy moments.
But I feel like they make you love this more.
I think so. Oh well, now I'm torn because. Okay. I'm torn between like a high 9 or just giving it a straight up 10.
Just fuck it. Just
10?
Yeah.
10.
Okay.
A 10 out of 10. I love this movie.
There you go.
It's so good.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. I think it's very fun to watch. Very, very, very high 7 out of 10 for me. Like just barely an 8. No.
Give it an 8.
No, I'm not doing it.
Give it a goddamn 8.
Fuck no. Only reason why I don't think I give it an 8 is because that whole kind of like 10-minute chunk of like them like being all cutie and stuff, I was just kind of like whatever. But
it's my favorite part. But
whatever. I'm just what do they call that? You got a word for that?
Masochist? Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That might be the word. But anyway.
Should I? 7?
8. Give it an 8. Do it.
Fine. Fine. 5. If I did that, fine. Might change my mind tomorrow, but for now.
Yeah, I probably scored it a little.
These are just numbers at the end of the day.
These are just numbers.
Who cares? 8.
You know?
Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Age is just a number.
I mean, in this movie, sure.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, those are our thoughts on 13 going on 30 for our 30th episode. That was very fun to talk about.
Very fun.
That was the first movie we talked about, like a full episode on one of your all-time favorite movies.
Yeah, we gotta do more of those.
We'll definitely do more of those. I'm sure at some point we'll get through like the movies on our list that we talked about from our very, very first episode. 30 episodes ago, we talked about
30 episodes ago.
It's crazy to think about. It's been we started this in April. Was it 7 months? Almost.
Yeah.
That we've been doing this. So
wow.
It's pretty nuts.
That's
pretty nuts.
Crazy.
So
yeah.
Yeah. But we're gonna keep it going. We ain't stopping at 30. 31 next week. We have our next movie. You remember it?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay.
Good job.
I forgot it, but I remembered. Okay. Our next movie is We're the Millers.
Yes.
So excited for that one.
Very fun comedy we're going to be talking about. Yeah, I want to talk about this movie. And then also, another reason why I wanted to talk about this was next week, I believe, on Netflix, is this movie coming out called Red Notice.
Red Notice.
This stars The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh.
It's supposed to be kind of like action comedy.
Oh, yeah. I do remember hearing about that one. Yeah.
We'll see how it is. I haven't seen the trailer for it.
Yeah.
But it's basically the director of that directed We're the Millers. So I was like, okay.
Okay, so it should be funny.
It'd be like a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's our movie next week. It is streaming right now on HBO Max. check it out there if you haven't seen it or need a rewatch or whatever you gotta do.
Si, senor.
All right. Do you have any final thoughts you want to say before I sign us out in a little bit?
The soundtrack.
Oh yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah,
that's just the last thing I needed to say because it's wow.
Right. That's good. All right. Well, we're on all audio streaming platforms: Spotify, Apple, all that. Leave us a review. Do all that good stuff. Find us on YouTube at In a Wider Screen Podcast. You can like, comment, subscribe to our stuff. Share it with your friends and family and all that good stuff. And then finally, social media: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, In a Wider Screen. We posting on there. Updates on the show and all that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So nothing you want to say. That's it. Oh, happy 30. Well, happy 30.
Happy 30!
For y'all who have watched and listened this far, we really appreciate it.
I hope you like our 30 flirty and thriving episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you guys for supporting us.
Appreciate
you. You are all incredible people.
You are all beautiful.
And I hope that if you have not turned 30 yet, or if you are currently 30, in your 30s, I hope you are flirty and thriving. So,
amen. And that's all.
Bye.